Welcome to the Fail Forward podcast. The purpose of this podcast is change the negative stigma around failure into a positive. Failure is only a negative if we do not learn from it and we give up. Welcome back to the Fail Forward podcast. So a question I get asked a lot is, why would you spend money on getting a mentor when you could just go and work it out yourself for free? Well, the way I see it is there's two ways to do things in life when it comes to running a business. And that is you can either pay in time or you can pay in money. And what I mean by that is I believe that if you started a business from scratch today, if you wanted to create a business that makes you decent profit and it works without you in it, and you can then have a successful enterprise that keeps paying you every month, I believe if you started from scratch with no prior knowledge to business or a small amount of knowledge to business, you started from scratch and you wanted to do it on your own, I think a minimum of 6 to 10 years to be able to get where you want to get to. Because you're going to go and what you're going to go and do is start a business and you're going to make loads of mistakes for the first 4 or 5 years. You're going to be working out how to do it. You're going to be trying to work out what to do, learning from those mistakes. You're going to have lots of different things going on, and it takes time to make mistakes and then learn from them, because we have things like our ego that gets in the way that sometimes covers up mistakes so we can then carry on. So you can pay in time or you can pay in money. And what you can then do is pay somebody who has walked the path that you want to and find out how all the mistakes they made, all the successes and all the mistakes they made. So you can either pay in time or you can pay in money. And I know what I did in the beginning. You guys, a lot of you guys know my story, but I spent 10 years making loads of mistakes with my ego thinking I was brilliant, giving me lots of blind spots and me not even learning from my mistakes. And it wasn't until I started learning about business and going on business courses and reading books and listening to podcasts, and then I got a mentor and paid the mentor a lot of money. My first coach was £2,000 a month. Since then, I've spent over 6 figures in self-development and masterminds. I've been on 4 or 5 masterminds at a time. People always ask me, how did you get from one business that failed to suddenly having 3 businesses that are successful? It was all because I started following other people who had walked the path that I want to. Now, there is a bit of a caveat in this, because I believe that the self-development world is a bit like the Wild Wild West. There are people springing up all over the place who is the latest coach or guru. And I see some people that I've been on a course with a year later suddenly coaching people. Now, I'm not trying to dig those people out, because I still believe what they've learned in that year is really valuable. In that year, once they come out the back of that year of that mastermind, they've probably picked up some experience, and that year is really important for some people to be able to turbo themselves through that. So that person at the end of the year, they might be able to help you out with a few things, but they're only going to be able to help you out with the stuff that they've learned in the last year. Whereas if you find a mentor who's might be been doing something for 3, 5, 10 years, 15 years and created lots of success, then you're going to get the whole spectrum. There is also, on the complete opposite end, which I've experienced before, some people who are so successful that have mentored me. They're so far down the line, they're 15, 20 years down the line, and they've forgotten the things they did in the early days that got them to where they got to. So it can be either end of the spectrum. But my point of this is that it's so important to be thinking, do I want to pay in time, which is free, and learn over 5 or 10 years, or do I want to actually just use some money to be able to exchange that for all of the blueprint, the facts and figures, the documents, the experience, the learnings, the mistakes that they've learned from, and also the successes. A lot of people focus on the successes, but as we know, we fail forward, and as some of the best learnings are from when we fail. So if you are on a path, and this doesn't have to be if you're starting a business, we mentor tree surgery business owners that have been going for 15, 20 years, and they've been doing it by the time way, the first way, the free way, and suddenly they've gone, hang on a minute, how has this guy popped up? Like my friend Josh Groundlord, he's been going since 2015, and now he is one of the most successful tree surgery businesses. And there are people that have been working a lot longer than him who haven't got to where he's got to, and he's had support. He's been able to scale his business and get into a really good position. But other people will be scratching heads that might have been working 15 years and they've not got there. And it all comes back down to who are you finding to be able to be able to show you the way, because all of the successful businesses I see in the tree surgery world and the property world, they're all being mentored by someone. Even the people who are 100 million plus, they all have mentors. Elon Musk has a mentor. Richard Branson has a mentor. So they are paying money to be able to find a way to be able to get to there quicker. Otherwise, it's just time. And that's the thing you've got to weigh up. Do I want to pay in time? And we all know that life is limited in time. So if we can actually pay to be able to get those, then that's going to get you to where you want to get to a lot quicker. So always have a think about who you're going to go and use. Who's going to be the person that you're going to use as a mentor or coach. I can quite proudly say that I run the Tree Surgery Mastermind and the Business Academy. We train tree surgery business owners on how to do the business side of tree surgery. But I feel confident in being able to do that because I've been running a business for 15 years. I've been in the industry 20 years. For example, property, I am a property mentor, but I go and mentor for a company called Progressive Property. But when I'm in that building, I'm surrounded by people who have been in the industry 15, 20 years. I wouldn't go and do my own property training company yet because I've only been in the industry 2 years. And I still don't know everything. I've still not done a lot of the strategies, even in service accommodation, which is a strategy I do. I still haven't done all of it. So I wouldn't be able to stand up there and say, honestly, I can give you the full A to Z of how to run a service accommodation business and all the ins and outs of it. So when you're looking for a coach, when you're looking for a course, what I would suggest is to speak to people who have been on those courses, been in the mastermind, who have created success, and see, have they walked the path that you want to? Because that's what I'd be looking for. If I start any new revenue stream, any new business, the first thing I do now is go, who's walked that path that I want to walk? And let's go and buy his stuff. Let's go and buy their stuff. I say his or her, or they. That's what I would do, is go and buy their course, their mastermind, and I would accelerate myself by 3, 5, 10 years to be able to get to where I want to get to. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, do I want to pay in money or do I want to pay in time? I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'd really love to know the answer to that question. So please drop me a DM and I'll see you soon.